Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capes and lunatics. Hope to see you there. That's right, kids. It's another month. You're going to get your answers whether you want them or not.
Another month, another rant.
It's time for another.
Martha and Maeve have left the building, so we're here to babysit.
Free the Southgate. That's right. It's time for the third best Southgate with myself, Lilith Hellfire, and of course,
the man, the myth, the legend, Nuff said himself,
Charlie Esser.
Illinois' favorite
son. A real professor.
Right. Oh, well, let me tell you about being a professor and what this is, as opposed to being a doctorate professor with it. Okay, I'm not Charlie. It's not going to happen.
I have a question. The right angle, first of all.
No, I know. Or the sexy shirt that's pulled up. Oh, yeah. I have a question before we get started, really. I have a question. I have a question. Okay. I'm getting people that are writing me questions, not about this, although I could answer them. Let me tell you how to hook up live audio for a panel in Iowa. Is this streaming somewhere right now?
Yes.
Where is it? Is it Facebook, on the Capes and Lunatics
Twitter? Yes,
page?
Facebook, Twitter, yes.
Okay, is it streaming on the third best page?
No.
Okay, because I don't see it on Capes and Lunatics. Is there a lag?
Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I know there is a lag. I'm not sure how big of it. I'm not sure how big of a lag, but there is a lag. I know.
Okay, because I want to share it. So it won't be live, I guess, on there. But I will be sharing it. So in the future, people that want to jump on and ask questions, there is going to be a lag when we do this. Okay, so I got my questions out. I want to also say something else up front. First of all, Lilith has an amazing background. That's the first thing I want to say. Amazing. And then Phil.
Cozy. That's what this is about.
That's right. But the other thing I want to say is I hated the first two episodes.
Thank you very much.
I did. They just weren't working for me. They were okay. I hated me in those episodes because it was just too much, like, I don't know.
In your head.
Well, yeah, and I was trying to figure out what this show was, and I think we've got it. Phil and I did a test run. Look at my hair. Oh my God. Don't judge me, people. So what we did was we changed the format, and today is going to be the first version of the new third best Southgate. Let's see how it goes. I'm excited for it, but just know those first two episodes, I mean, they can go in the trash bin as far as I'm concerned, but what can you do? They're out there. They're in the universe. I don't hide things. Enjoy.
It's a teaching moment. You're like, this is what I had. I didn't like it. I changed it up.
No, what would be funny if every single episode the format just keeps changing.
Oh, wait. Have you worked with me before, Lilith?
Exactly.
Do you know that's...
we should have named it Work in Progress.
Oh, my God.
Welcome to This Week in Geek.
The very first Live at the Blue Box, the very first one, I'm standing up there. Maeve's in the audience. Molly's there. Chris is there. And I was barely friends with Chris. Like, we had just kind of started to become friends.
Your parents there too?
I'm sure my parents were there.
They're always there to watch him. Yeah.
And exactly. I am literally, I don't know, 3 minutes into this 3-hour show, and I stop and I go, "This isn't working. We need to completely revamp this." And maybe she's like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "No, you just started." I go, "No, I can already tell it's not working." Chris is like, "No, keep going. I was like, okay, give me a second. I'm going to rethink this whole thing, and changed it a little bit right there. And then it took about, I don't know, 3 months, and all of a sudden it finally hit me how it worked. It finally came to me, but man, I knew it in 3 minutes. Like, oh God, this is not happening. And it was so funny. So yeah, I do work that way. And Lilith was there at the dawn of Live at the Blue Box for an interview, and she probably saw some of that happen live in front of her. It's happened on panels as I'm doing a panel and go, no, this is bullshit. This isn't working. Yeah. So, but I think we got something for this show. I'm excited for it.
What a diva!
Go back and look at my history.
It's a creative process.
I
It might take a minute, but once it hits, it hits.
Good. That's what I think.
And I did see pictures from that old show. How old was Molly? Because her and Lilith looked about the same size.
6.
Oh, okay, that tracks.
6. Yeah, in fact, at that time, that was when she had started her podcast. So Molly comes to Maeve and I. We had started the network, and we're doing all this podcasting, and she's like, she wants to be part of it, and she's a 6-year-old, right? But Lilith met her at that age. She knows she was hardly a 6-year-old, right? It was like a little 40-year-old walking around, sitting there like, darn this 6-year-old mouth. I could get out the words better if I was a little older. And she says, I want to start a podcast, in that little tiny, munchkin voice. And we said, okay, what do you want to do? And she said, I want to do a show about Once Upon a Time. And we said, oh, okay, we can do that. And Maeve's like, yeah, we'll watch the show and we'll do a podcast about it. Because that used to be our entry point for people when they came to the network. We would say, do a TV show. Do 12 episodes of a TV show. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you can bail or completely shift things, whatever. And we said, let's just do 12. We'll do that. Now, we didn't say 12 episodes to her. She said, okay, we got to start at the beginning. Little did we know. We make the agreement. We sit down to watch the show. Little did we know it was 3rd season. We had to watch or 4th season, something like that. We had to watch I don't know. It was 70 episodes or something to get the show started. And it's it's going to be fall and the show's going to come back and we have to be ready. And of course, Maeve is a completist as well. So we, with a 6-year-old, watched the entire 3-4 seasons, whatever it was, of
Back
Once
when
Upon a
TV
Time.
had 20+ episodes a season, mind
Yes. Yes. Oh my God. Little did we know we were getting into it. And, you go back and listen to those. It's called Ever After, the Once Upon a Time family podcast. Molly's the host. She does the intro and everything. She kind of dictated it. It's, oh my God, it's the cutest show. And I talked to iTunes way back then when they were still not Apple Podcasts, but they were iTunes. And they said, they were talking to me about the network and they gave us permissions that now everybody has. You can get in and manipulate your stuff kind of. But back then,
Good luck.
There were yeah, no kidding. Well, back then there used to be a backdoor access. There were 4 of us in the country that were podcasters that had it. People were requesting it. I happen to have one. So I could go in and I could approve my own shows. I didn't have to wait for anything. I could change the artwork. I could change what it said. I could change the order. I could do all this stuff, right? And when I got that, I talked to somebody at Apple, and they're like Big Brother. It's weird. This person knew everything about our network and said, your daughter is the youngest host of a podcast on iTunes at this point. Now, they're younger now. But I said, oh, really? And they said, yeah, there's a kid. And they knew there was a kid that was 7, but your daughter is 6. They knew all this stuff. And they said, you should really capitalize on that. Well, of course, she turned, she got old in the tooth and we couldn't really capitalize on it anymore. Try harder, be younger. But she was for that
kid. Had hit double digits, kid.
Oh, no! So for that short bit, she was the youngest host of a podcast on iTunes. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then she came to us and she wanted to do a Doctor Who podcast. And all of her friends didn't even know what Doctor Who was. They were scared of it.
She knows how to play the old man.
She does.
Exactly.
Oh, no. And then she comes to us, she goes, I want to do a Doctor Who podcast. We're like, okay. And Maeve didn't watch Doctor Who. And I did, of course. And we said, yeah, we'll do it. And she says, I want to name it Cuckoo for Who. And we're like, oh, that's a really cute name. She looks at my wife and she goes, that's a Beatles reference. Like Maeve is an idiot, right? And she's like, Maeve's like, I know what the Beatles are. And she's like, oh, okay. This little 6-year-old talking smack at us. Unbelievable.
God bless Molly Southgate playing 4-dimensional chess in that house.
Oh, please. Yeah, we used to joke that like we homeschooled this. No, we were in the room while she was homeschooling herself. I have a feeling. We guided as best we could, but holy moly, this kid is a force of nature, as you know. She's going to Interlochen in a couple of weeks for writing, and she got a merit scholarship for that. And I signed something, so I guess I wrote. I guess I have that talent. I could sign things. No, it's amazing. It's amazing. That's not what this show is about. Well, I guess it was.
No, it is because it's called Third Best Southgate, and you're telling them why you're the third best Southgate.
I am the third best. I really am.
Molly had to learn how to do this all on her own before she had to get dragged into doing a ROM Space Night podcast.
Oh, wouldn't that be awesome? I know the guy that draws ROM. I could probably get him to make a cover for it. That'd be so cool. I'm not doing the ROM the Space Night podcast.
I was going to say, Phil, do not.
Phil, no.
No, not going to happen.
All right, so we flipped the coin until finally I lost. All right, so I'm going first.
Oh, that sucks.
No. All right, so I was going to bring up some current events with you. Mr. Rob Southgate, what do you think about this whole Ezra Miller situation? Is there any way Warner's can salvage this or the Flash movie? What do they need to do?
Okay, so this is the new format. You guys are going to ask me questions, and I'm going to spout off about stuff, and I love this. It's just because I think that it's different. I haven't heard other people do this, really, so I think this will be cool.
Yeah, Rob,
Ezra Miller. First of all, if we could have a neon thing go across the screen that says "Yikes," this whole situation is awful. And not when I say awful and it means good, like, a lot of the movies I watched, I'm like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome and awful at the same time. This is awful. Can they salvage this? No. There's no possible way they can salvage this. Basically, this would be like casting Kevin Spacey in the lead and then saying, we're going to put this out there. And the public's going to embrace it. And then it's going to be so good, they're going to forget that he's, Kevin Spacey. They can't do that. The problem is Ezra Miller couldn't hold it together long enough to get the movie out to make the money for the company and then fall apart, and then they could recast him.
Don't you think they could get the movie together fast enough before he started unraveling?
You know what? That's what I wonder. They had
it's been like 10 years.
They had to know. When they had him on Justice League, they had to know, right? So why did they continue down this path? Why did they do this? Unless they were like, well, you know what? We're going to do the Flashpoint story, and we can switch up Flashes when that happens. It's going to make perfect sense. There's a new Flash or whatever. Yeah, but it took you so long to get this damn movie out, and Ezra Miller couldn't hold it together. I don't know what they're going to do, man. Frankly, I think they should
insurance money, as I've been saying.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's about what they're banking on. But this should have been big money for them. If the movie's good, I mean, they did get Michael Keaton back for it. I think he's going to be interesting.
He's kicking himself now. He's kicking himself.
Well, he's also kicking himself because he was in Morbius. Hey, I got a Marvel. Oh, damn it.
It was Sony. I guess his agent didn't. He needs to just get a better agent at this point.
And credit scene.
He does, because Michael Keaton, I mean, you're excited when he's in the Marvel stuff. You're excited when he's going to be Batman again, and then it's like they step on a banana peel. It's like you picked the two worst things to do. Batgirl, I don't know what we're going to get there. I really hope it's good, but that's been gestating for so long. And are they going to take the right take on Batgirl? I'm so scared this is going to be hot garbage.
They'll just do Killing Joke live action.
Yeah,
no build up, no nothing.
They probably will, and then they'll change the ending and screw it up.
I mean, are all their movies still tainted by the Snyderverse?
And it is.
It is, but
I mean, he picked out Ezra Miller. That's all I'm saying.
He did. Yeah.
So that should tell you everything you need to know. Although, to be fair, James Gunn picked out Chris Pratt. So.
Yeah. Have you noticed they're doing the Chris Pratt tour of he's not this bad a guy?
Listen, mark my words, in 10 years or less, he will be heading up a Pure Flix film. This man is going the way of Kirk Cameron.
Oh, my
Kevin
God.
Sorbo. And
oh, my.
Don't at me, Dean Cain.
You really think so?
I know so. Like,
I'm
his
not
PR has
sure.
been in such overdrive. There is a bombshell about to happen. He's about to be kicked the hell out of Hollywood.
Oh no, because I agree. His
He's
PR
trying.
is
They're
going
trying
crazy.
way too hard, and it's like, no. There's literally pictures. They literally met at
Right.
that church.
Right.
You
He
can't
keeps
fool
saying,
me.
like, I didn't really go to that church. I don't really believe this. It's like, what?
I mean, I think Disney's already planning because they said Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Not all of them are making it out alive. So I think.
And
Well,
the
they-
flop that was Jurassic Park, where they had to go get poor Jeff Goldblum back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
franchise.
Yes, yeah. haha.
Was
So-
that your Jeff Goldblum?
Yes, that's what I said. I said I've been working on Jeff Goldblum impression. You just got to throw out. You have to talk really quickly and then end the throw in some weird
Don't
sex
forget an
sounding
open
noises.
shirt
Yeah.
and leather pants.
Yes. Oh yes. He was fine in the movie. Oh yeah.
What is this, South Park?
I mean, seriously.
Yes.
I thought I did terrible impressions. Phil, you are a new level of bad impressions. I love
Boy,
it.
if you're comparing yourself to me, yeah, that's a low bar, Robert.
I love it, man. Yeah,
So-
I actually threw out a Jeff Goldblum in the car the other day, and Molly was like, "Oh my god!" Like I do these micro impressions. When I do a micro one, I can nail it sometimes. If I try to, it's hot garbage. So I throw out a Jeff Goldblum. She's like, "Wow, you could do a really good Jeff Goldblum." And I'm like, "Yeah, for 1 second at this moment. Ask me later, it's gone."
I'm melting.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Most of my impressions sound like this. Okay, I'm Jeff Goldblum. Ah, chaos. Okay.
Quick,
No,
South Park's gonna sue you for their impression of Mickey Mouse. Quick, stop.
Yeah, right.
No, an easier one to do. You do. I mean, we do like a good Charlie Esser. Well,
Two
Wow.
E's in the middle.
for quality.
So yeah, back to Ezra Miller. I think that I mean, seriously, I really think that they should CGI him the hell out of that movie. Even if it looks kind of bad, if the script is good enough and the movie's good enough, nobody's going to
Have
care.
you met a DC movie?
But it could be.
From the last
It
decade.
could be. They're about to screw it up again too. With Joker
2 decades
2.
at this point, Phil.
Joker
Oh,
2.
Batman
I'm
the
thinking
Dark
about
Knight.
that.
Joker
That was
2
the
the
last good DC movie.
I know. Joker 2 the musical.
Yeah, that they're going to screw it up.
Somebody get Baz Luhrmann on the phone quickly.
Oh, please don't. I liked Shazam. That was actually kind of fun and was a good tone.
Oh, God.
I liked the first Wonder Woman, even though it's not great. Some of it's really good.
the end. The end's kind of.
Yeah, it falls flat, but I mean that happens.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like Batman Superman was so goddamn awful.
Yeah.
I mean that was awful. And I'm not a hater on this stuff. Like I try to go in liking stuff. That was a big bone of contention with Chris and I. I went to see it with him, and he loved it, and I hated it. And we would talk about it. He was like, he could not understand why I hated it so much. And I'm like, there's something wrong with this movie. And it's not like I can't accept that it's different than the comics or that it's a new take. Even the Snyderverse, the Snyder Justice League, the Snyder cut is not as bad as the Whedon cut. It is not as bad. It's bloated. It's garbage, but maybe they didn't light the dumpster on fire quite the way Joss Whedon did.
Well, all you gotta do is take out the up the skirt shots, and
Oh
million
my
times better.
God. Oh my God. That was so awful when you saw Wonder Woman and like the women characters were filmed properly. They were awesome. They were strong. And then the next movie that comes out is Justice League, and it's like, hey, booty shots over and over and over. I'm like, who are you making this
This is
for?
not Quentin Tarantino in
Do-
the 90s. Please
do you
and
think-
thank you.
Right.
Do you think that's how Ezra Miller slipped under the radar because they were like
Handpicked is all I'm
no,
saying.
well, no. Ezra Miller was like third or fourth down on the creep list. That you had a couple top creeps before you
Shoot,
got
Spacey's
Ezra.
out. We can't use him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Maybe we could get Donald Trump. No, he's going to be president. Oh, Ezra Miller. Let's go with him. He's a creep.
But just all the stuff with Joss Whedon and just all the controversy there. Him giving half the cast crap and stuff.
Yeah, garbage. So do I think they can salvage it? No. Could they? Yes. But are they going to? No, absolutely not. It's
You have
going
to start from scratch.
Yeah, they have to. It's sad because this is going to burn it to the ground where it could have been a good starting point to reset things, even getting rid of Ezra Miller. But the problem is Ezra Miller is the lead of this thing, and I'm sure they don't kill him at the end. And
He could get lost in the time force.
He could
Stay-
permanently. He could.
I-
You know, they really did screw up. They could have done something very unique. I know people are like, oh, they should bring in what's his name, Jack Handy, the one on the TV show.
Grant Gustin, yeah.
Yeah, I know that they screw. So it's
Go
like
all the way back to John Wesley ship. That's the only way we fix this.
They did with on the TV show.
Yeah.
But seriously, they could have done a multiverse Flash thing, brought Grant in, tried him out in there. What if the audience goes crazy for him on the screen? Because I actually do like him on the show. I think he's gotten worse because the show's gotten worse.
Well, the writing, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he actually kind of works actually pretty well for the Flash.
I don't need to see his
attempt.
skeletons come out. It's just something about DC actors once they get on freaking a movie.
I don't know, man. There's you never
you don't hear anything,
him
and then it's like they get on a DC movie. Like
he's
poor Johnny Depp, he got
he's
stuck
just staying
with
in the
that
house.
hardcore.
He's either filming or he's staying in the house with that wife. I think, again, like I said, Grant Gustin, I mean, if nothing else, he's had eight years of practice playing that character. So give him a tryout.
But they're not going to at this point.
Yeah, no.
But it could have been interesting. It could have been multiverse. Then you would have had John Wesley Shipp on the screen, which would have been cool. He's too old to be that Flash. He could have popped up, and that would have been...
at this point, he's Max Mercury age. Let's just be honest. No tea, no shade, y'all know I love JWS.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. He's like a highlight on that Flash show. Every time he pops up, I'm like, oh yeah, let's let this guy be on. Yeah, well, even the TV shows, they had that one guy, the elongated man. Didn't he have a ton of controversy too?
They found some old tweets, wasn't it?
Yeah, but wasn't it?
And he was harassing Candace, but that's none of my business.
Yeah, right. Yeah, maybe there's just a cultural.
It is. I tell Phil all the time. It is a corporate culture of a white guys only kind, and that's just hard to break.
It is.
You had 80 years of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why it's got to be burned to the ground. I mean, they literally, and there are always rumors.
That's my motto: burn it to the ground.
There are a lot of rumors that it's gonna, get bought by somebody else or go somewhere else. It's like that would not be a bad thing. Just don't go to Disney. That would be a bad move.
Well, Discovery bought DC, right? So
they bought all of Warner's, yeah.
Yeah, and they said, okay, you guys know what you're doing. Do your thing.
Actually, no, they actually kicked out a lot of people, just not the right people. I mean, we finally got rid of Dan DiDio, so there was like hope on the horizon. And
hope on the horizon.
He was holding the company back, but then they decided to still use his ideas and call it something else without having to pay him. So it's shenanigans on both sides.
Now he's working with Frank Miller. God help us.
I cannot wait. Honestly, I just want to know. I just want to be a fly on the wall while they're working on that project.
Yeah, well, we saw Frank Miller's RoboCop 3, so ever since then, I've been a little sketchy on Frank touching anything film. That was exceptionally bad.
I don't want him touching comics anymore either.
Yeah, his run was amazing, but yeah.
It was a different, as we like to say, it was a different time. We cannot tolerate
like we would say in comics, the shit gets worse and worse as time goes on. Just like it seemed like he has a problem with women.
Like, oh my god, he got away with this.
I know, like it seems like every story, every woman's either like a prostitute or
and we kind of see his influence on certain other writers, Kevin Smith.
Although I do have to say, his run on Daredevil, the one
Born Again,
Again was pitch perfect. And yes, what he did to the female characters there, but you go, yeah, but before that, nobody had done anything. When Karen all of a sudden was on drugs and that, it was like, wow, spoiler. That was pretty daring stuff that he took characters that were like, oh, these are, she's the girlfriend, and he was like, yeah, we're gonna turn this on its ear. I thought that was really fantastic.
It's almost like it's his version of killing Gwen Stacy, basically.
It was. It really was. It really was, which then they can go back and bring her back as 8 million other things, and Gwen Poole and all that stuff, and Karen Poole will be next. Only Karen Poole, all she does is show up in the costume and then yell about, call the police, yell about black people, want her coffee done right. Karen Poole. I see a new character on the horizon.
Oh, shut up, Charlie will be chomping at the bit for that if he hears that.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you about Karen Poole in issue 493 of the Legacy series of. Okay, Charlie. So anyway, what's the next question?
So does DC just need to burn everything to the ground and start over? Because even the Arrowverse is pretty much done. I mean, Flash is getting probably one more season. There's Superman and Lois and Stargirl, and that's pretty much it. Everything else has been canceled.
I heard that Stargirl's last season, but you ain't heard that.
Really?
Yeah,
I heard that too. It's they're close to doing that. I think that they're going to. Well, and it's also because their stuff is such a mess. It's actually ushering in an era where people are getting tired of all the superhero stuff. I'm seeing a lot more negativity towards it. The fact that Marvel puts out like Doctor Strange, and I'm seeing negativity. I'm seeing people saying the fourth phase of Marvel is like, it's not great.
It's flop era. Don't you deny it.
Well,
Marvel
again,
movies are in the flop era.
Is it burnout too? Because again, at this point,
burnout.
Disney's putting out at least three Marvel movies. You're going to get like 2 or 3 Disney Plus series, Marvel series.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ms. Marvel is definitely feeling the brunt of that.
Yeah, and you know what? I like Ms. Marvel. I think that's a lot of fun. I like the shows that I've been seeing. I just started Loki. I thought, wow, this is creative and wild and fun. And I don't think these movies are flops. I think that they're not doing what the original did because people don't know these characters now.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, I just watched it. I had a lot of fun with it. Is it top tier? No. Is it bottom tier? No. I liked Shang-Chi. I always say the name wrong. I thought that was a blast. I had a lot of fun with that. Is it as good as the best? No, but maybe it is top tier. You know, maybe if that had come out in phase 2, we might be saying something very different about it being a top tier movie. You know, Doctor Strange, nobody called that first one top tier. I think this one was a little bit better than the first one, and I liked the first one. I managed to
stay awake for this one, so there's that.
I like both of them. I think they're a lot of fun.
The first one is like I just always fall asleep no matter what.
Yeah. I like it, but it's not, you know, it's not like watching Civil War. Actually, way better than Civil War is, what was the first one? The second Captain America movie. Not Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
Winter Soldier's the best one.
Yeah.
That might be the best Marvel movie. That one just...
That is actually the Black Widow movie that was supposed to be, but that's none of my business.
It is. And you know what? I actually like the Black Widow movie a lot. I think if Black Widow, if they hadn't made a mistake and they'd put it out right after Winter Soldier,
yeah,
boom, that would have been huge. That would have been amazing. You know what? Maybe it would have pushed Joss Whedon out of Avengers 2, which sucked. He screwed that one up. And I know it was because he was dying by committee there. Welcome to DC. We're the new Marvel. But that movie, I still like. I watch it, and there's stuff that I like, stuff that's cool. I don't think it's crap. But then, damn, the stuff I don't like is crap. And why does Ultron have lips? That's so weird.
So Spader can enunciate.
Now, I would do a micro impression of Spader, but I don't have it in my head right now. But I have done the Ultron Spader on Live at the Blue Box, and that one I can do pretty well, too. But it's gone right now. Sorry, Phil.
He needs the Spader puppet.
Oh, a Spader puppet. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. You know what? You need one of those things you get at like a Ren's Fair where it's a Spader that sits on your shoulder and you control it down here, but the little head moves. Spader. All the time. Although I wouldn't want him to be Ultron or Blacklist. I'd want him to be Red from Blacklist. I'd want him to be Spader from what's that one that he did with Robert Downey Jr. Drugs and sex, and you know which one I'm talking about, Lilith. He did it in the 80s, I think. Maybe it was the 90s. Oh God, you're gonna make me look it up.
Yes, you're gonna have to look it up. I'm just blanking, like I don't know what he's talking about.
You guys are the worst.
Sorry, Grandpa.
If it's not a John Hughes movie, I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say Spader from The Office, Robert California.
Oh, I'm there, by the way.
Oh, are you?
Okay, I'm looking up James Spader on IMDb, and I'm gonna say this name, and you're gonna go, "Oh, that one." And it's not Robert California. Although, yeah, love that one too. Even though everyone hates on that, I think he's great on that show.
Oh, yeah.
They just forgot how to write that show during his time. Let's see. Filmography, James Spader, actor, and Less Than Zero.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's what I want.
Oh, yeah,
I want
that
a
one.
Less Than
Wait,
Zero
he was in
James Spader puppet. He was
All I
in
think
that.
of is Robert Downey Jr. in that movie.
He played
Oh.
Rip. He was the guy that was getting him to do all the coke.
Well,
which seems to
as
be a
in
theme.
real life.
It seems to be
As
a
in
theme.
real life.
His third credit on here is cocaine. One man seduction. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was on his resume. Cocaine.
Yeah. Pretty in Pink. I loved him in these movies. And I don't even love all these movies. But I did love him in that. Sex Lies and Videotapes. Remember him in
Yeah,
that?
that's a good one. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Bob Roberts he was in. I didn't see Wolf.
Okay.
Stargate. Come on. Stargate's awesome.
Yes, that's the best one.
Yeah. I love Stargate. Did you ever watch
We're
the
getting
show?
the comeback, baby. We're getting the whole gang back together that's still alive at any rate.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Amazon has been desperately trying to get that remade. Now that the movie rights are completely, absolutely dead, they can go ahead and do the TV show. And mark my words, within the next 3 years, we are going to get another Stargate show. So
Oh, I would love it. As long as it's good, I would love it.
My words.
Do a total Battlestar Galactica to it too. Like, don't keep it because the show was syndicated and it started to kind of become like the writing wasn't as good. Up the writing, give us that Stargate
that's because
story.
Sci-Fi completely won the rights away from Showtime. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a whole thing.
But yeah, especially the first few seasons of that show. Oh my God, I loved it. That was a rough era too. If you were a sci-fi fan, you were torn because it also had Babylon 5 on at the same time. And X-Files
That was never a
on.
question for me. Listen, as much as I love Star Trek, I'll tell you this: Star Trek has never gotten 10 seasons. Not a single one of them have ever had 7 seasons. So
Yeah, but the shows that were on Babylon 5 was so good. That's one I always talk about. It's 5 seasons. First season, okay, it's a sci-fi show. Second, third, fourth season, some of the best sci-fi TV ever made. And then
as a Deep Space Nine fan, I will disagree with you. I will
stop
die
it,
on this
Lilith.
hill. It's fine.
When it hits the end of the fourth season, they canceled the show. They were told it was over. So Michael J. Straczynski writes the ending. He had the whole thing planned out. He writes the ending and he makes it a dream in the last episode because he thinks this is it. But I got to tell fans what happened. So he has the one character dream of the future, and it tells you what happens. You're like, oh wow! And then they renew it
And
for a
then
fifth
Josh
season.
Whedon stole that.
True.
If you know, you know.
But then they renew it for a fifth season, and the fifth season is like, why? Like you know what's supposed to happen, and they try to change it a little bit, but you're like, they're not. No, this sucks. It was so bad in the fifth season, and up to that point, that second, third, and fourth season are pitch perfect. I loved that show, and I loved when Deep Space Nine. I was all about Deep Space Nine. I loved that show. Cisco was awesome.
My favorite character.
Yeah, Cisco. Yeah, he was.
He can cook. He can sing. He's a man of passion. He's not afraid to blow up a planet.
Yeah, and you know what else was awesome about this character is he was very flawed. Whereas up to that point, like Picard, they didn't really show that he was flawed. They didn't show, like Janeway, they shouldn't have showed her being flawed because they needed to finally put a female captain in and let her be a Picard female, like be a strong female. But Cisco,
when
they
Q
were like,
showed up, that went all out the window. So.
Yeah, right. But with Cisco, they let him be flawed. They let him be
he was
very
a father.
human. Yeah,
he was fair. He was tough. Yeah,
I even liked his kid. And usually on shows,
him and Nog. See, that's the thing. That's what Phil and I were talking about that Star Trek show that's on right now. Strange New Worlds. Why they got rid of the kid? It's because there's no other kids on the ship for her to go back and forth with.
Right, and Nog was essential. Yeah, I totally agree.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah, but it really worked when they had those two characters on there, and you could have storylines that were specific to that. Having a kid just run around the ship alone is like,
oh, Wesley.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, welcome to the rest of your life therapy, because that's what's going to happen to that poor kid.
Naomi Wilder.
You're the one kid on a battleship. That's not going to work. That's not going to work.
And you're the captain's illegitimate child. Yeah, not going to work.
Oh,
Okay, I have a business question.
I was gonna say,
lay
get
it
to your
on me.
questions.
We're moving
Yeah.
on to questions.
If you're a creative and you have ADHD like Phil and I, what is a plan of action that you think might actually work? Like, say you want to do something, but you're in your head too much. How do you get that plan of action together and actually execute?
Wow, what a question, Lilith. Okay. So first of all, I would challenge one thing there. Have you been diagnosed with ADHD?
Actually, yeah.
Okay, Phil, have you?
No,
No.
not yet.
Okay. So this is where my challenge is on that. So with me, I wanted to go see a therapist. And a friend of mine, another podcaster who's a therapist, hooked me up with somebody who specializes in, because I wanted almost like a coach slash therapist, somebody that could help me get over some of these humps and figure this out. And this therapist immediately says, well, you clearly have ADHD, knowing all the stuff I do and how it's all over the place. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So they send me this test, big test. And I take this thing and it comes back. I'm like at a 0. And they say, and we're looking at the results and it's like 0 ADHD. I ended up taking another test. I had a student that I had to give this test to, and Maeve and I both took this test just to see, and I scored just above a 0 on that one. Maeve scored so high that she fell into a category called Ring of Fire. Not to bust her out here, she definitely she knew it too. She's like, damn. So
yeah, when you start answering the question, go, oh no.
when we say, she's like, everyone, she's like, what did you get for this? Opposite of what I got. So what we discovered, talking to another therapist and doing some research, is there is a thing literally called creatively gifted. It is a form of being gifted. Being creatively gifted shows itself as like ADHD. I would challenge, knowing both of you, that you might fall under that category. ADHD is an easy one for therapists to go, yeah, you're ADHD.
Unless you're black, so that's why I believe it. So
yeah, you know what? There is
being real and a woman. So
yes,
I believe it, and it actually happened to me when I got to college. It was like adult onset ADHD.
I completely believe that. That's why I said I would challenge it just to see, because I know how creative you are, Lilith. It may be a combination which you might be fighting against here, and
I'm just saying in general though.
Yeah, I'm not one who says I don't believe in it. I absolutely believe in it. It's not that I'm saying it's not. I'm saying there is this other thing that when we looked into it, and then the therapist was like, yeah, you're clearly creatively gifted, which shows itself as this. So how do I deal with?
Like, I know you don't have a planner, do you? Like, don't tell me. No,
I can't.
Okay.
Look at the area behind me. Actually, it's cleaned up. I'm one of those guys that is always like piles of stuff.
Doom piles, yes.
Yeah. And Maeve can't fit. She's like, why can't you put, you're a hoarder. I'm like, I'm not a hoarder.
Everybody is a hoarder. You're just at different levels. If you have your college books that you kept, you're a level 1 hoarder.
Okay. I don't. I only have one, and it's because it's one I reference.
Okay.
So I got rid of
Loophole.
those. Yeah. Well, no, it's a great book on marketing. I kept it. All the other ones, even if I liked them, they're gone. Okay. So at the height when I was, so we have the network. I'm at that point, I was still editing everything. This was while I was in my master's program. I think at that point, editing 20 shows a week. I was on, I think, 7 different shows at this time, like at a very specific time I'm talking about. I was coming into the end of my master's. Yeah, it was the final semester of my master's. And I had managed all this stuff all through it, right? And on top of it, we were getting ready for another marathon. I had just done Women in Podcasting. We had the book coming out. Like, all of this was happening at once. All signs that I might be ADHD, because I'm doing like 50 things and can't pay attention to anything. But I was paying attention because, everything we put out came out good, right? Because I just had to do this. Well, I was having trouble though. And remember, we're driving back from, Molly was in a play and we're driving back from it.
The wolf one, right?
Yes, it was that one. And my brain,
I know the exact time we're talking about now.
Yes, the Winter Wolf. My brain is on fire. I was ring of fire at this point. I'm driving and they're in the car and they're talking about our performance and my brain is going, I'm literally thinking about editing, and then it's pinging over to the book, and then it's pinging to what I have to do for school, and it's going ding, 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 ding. Oh, and I hadn't started my thesis yet, but I was going into that final shoot where I was going to have to create this. So I'm just like, it's going everywhere. And Maeve says to me, she goes, okay, I can tell you're not here. And I'm driving. She goes, you're driving. You need to put your head in this. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, I'll pull over. You can drive. She goes, no, we're going to talk about this. And what she did for me, and she knows my piles, and she knows all this stuff. And she said to me, this is going to seem so basic. She talked to me about compartmentalization and staying in the now. So when I start to ping, I have to say to myself, I can do this. I'm going to be home at 8 o'clock. I can think about that at 8 o'clock. Until then, I can't think about it. I tried the things of, putting a list. This is my old list, putting a list down and here's my day. 9 o'clock, I do this. 10 o'clock, I do this. I can't make that past the first hurdle.
I literally don't know how people do that.
I don't either. To-do lists. My to-do lists are funny. I'll make to-do lists. They're very effective for me, but I can't do them in order, and I can't say they have to be done today. If I say Thursday's to-do list, I break it in 1 second. If I just say to-do list, I will accomplish huge things. As you've seen, when we started this network, that was 800 moving parts that most people hire teams to do. And I had this crazy list. It was pages of a notebook. And every day I'd look at it and go, I could do that one, that one, that one. And I very quickly got through this list that would have choked a horse. It was all about compartmentalization and telling myself, when I start to ping, you could do this at this time. Don't do it now. You can do it then. There's no reason for you to do anything about this. So we still do this. We just did this the other day. Her friend was in a situation where she was kind of pinging about stuff and was driving, and she was on the phone with her, helping her out. And she said to her, okay, there's nothing you can do about any of those things. I know you're thinking about them all, but there's nothing you can do about them until you get where you're going. So right now, when you start to think about that other stuff, tell yourself, no, I'm driving. When I get there, I can take a walk and process if I need to. But right now, I'm driving. Right now, Lilith, you're podcasting. Right? That's it. We're having a conversation. You don't have to think about all the 100 other things that you have to do. Now, is that a solution for ADHD? Absolutely not. I'm not a therapist. I'm nothing like that. But it worked on me, and it's worked on Maeve, who does. Well, that's just it. Her therapist said that hers is not ADHD. She said it's trauma-based, and it shows itself as ADHD. She took the test and got that huge score, and then the therapist said, yeah, that's not really what's going on. And
a lot of those things are very closely connected in the brain. About
they
how
are. And that compartmentalization.
Honestly, I think ADHD should just be put on the autism spectrum, because
we always say
interests, things it's all just a spectrum.
It is a spectrum. You are absolutely right. And this is a tool. Learning how to ground yourself and go present on it makes a huge difference. We also do another thing, and this is going to sound, I don't know if it'll sound woo-woo. Have you ever heard of tapping?
Oh, a little stimming never hurt anybody.
Yeah, where you do this. It's an actual process. You tap here, and you tell yourself things, and then you move it up here, then you move it here and here and here. It's a whole process, and you listen to a tapping like meditation. For me, when I am pinging all over the place, if I go back and I do just a refocus tapping, it's on an app. refocus tapping, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it is. It's like I took an 8-hour nap and my brain is back to normal. So that's what I suggest. If you're having trouble, like, we're all over the place, make a to-do list that's not tied to time. Live out of time like I do. Maybe try tapping. It's a great tool. And compartmentalization. Keep telling yourself, this goes here. I can leave it alone. Because I'm telling you, that works beautifully. Like right now, this morning, I've already been working this morning. I'm thinking about some of those other things. And as soon as we started this, I'm like, that's why I had to close that other browser. Because people were writing me, and I'm like, no, be present, be here. Did that help? Was that a good answer?
Sure.
All right. It was my thoughts.
Exactly. That's all we want. We just want to get in that little nugget of yours.
Yeah. Who's got another question?
We got time for one more, Phil. Come on.
Oh, I thought you had more business questions.
Whatever you guys want.
Me and Rob could talk business for literally 3 hours.
Oh yeah, it gets serious. I went to a networking
so I'll
event.
ask him how are you coming along on the website? What's that process like right now? Trying to design the perfect podcast website. It's gonna drive you insane. I'm just gonna let you know that.
How about no?
Yeah,
it's
help
not.
Lilith out on that end.
No, it's not, because I also know I come from a world of zines and like jazz and punk music. I know that perfection is the enemy of creativity. Progress, not perfection, right? That's what they always say. So Lilith, I'm going to share with you what the website looks like right now.
At the link you put up, I took a peek.
Oh, you looked at it. Okay.
Yes, for Alley Chats.
Yes, that is the prototype. And actually, I improved it again yesterday. Now, here's the deal. That is, I think, a pretty dynamite podcast website. I'm very happy with it. And I've added SEO throughout it. There is a process to all of that. There's a big learning curve. Learning how to use WordPress and change things around and all that. Well, but you saw what I did. And I'm not using, I mean, you use a theme. Everybody uses a theme, and then you break the theme. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I did. I broke the theme. And then I started adding things. It is right now, when I say a perfect podcast website, that doesn't mean every element is there. Okay. So there are other things I'd like to add to it, but not on that landing page. I don't want to make it
a landing page. That I don't think people really grasp. Like, people think that's an outdated method. It's not.
No, the landing page is critical. You get the landing page right, and then you can create. So that is a landing page for that show. For a network, it would be a different landing page that leads you to that page. And then that page leads you to episode pages and blogs and all the other stuff.
It's directing people to where they need to go.
That's right. That's right. And what and see, the SEO stuff is so important. So I was talking to somebody this week that has a website they just put up, and I asked them about it. I said, "Oh, who'd you do it through?" And they told me. And it was funny because when I asked about their show, I said, "Hey, I want to put a link to something." They said they gave me their links to like Anchor or Blueberry or something. And I said, "You don't have a?" Yeah, I go, "You don't have a website?" They go, "Oh yeah, I do." I'm like, "Why didn't you direct me to the website?" So I went to the website, and it looks okay. There's a lot of things that I would change about it, but it looks okay. But the bottom line is, it wasn't a landing page. You do, and it wasn't a landing page. And they did it through one of these things like Wix or Squarespace, which is what we built our original one through. The problem is, I mean, those things can make them look pretty. Somebody who's skilled at it can make it look really good. Problem is your SEO, how people find you on Google and Bing. You can't get their code out of it. Having their code in there slows it the hell down. You don't have the manipulation you need for the search engine optimization or search engine marketing that you want to do. So it makes it very hard to do those things. They even have programs in that say, optimize with SEO, and you go in there and you can do certain things and you feel like you're really doing these great things. Show me one of those that you go to Google after they've done that and search for that. Search for Podcast Network. Do we come up first? No. It's like 10 pages in because the SEO blows on those services. Now, can they make a good page?
It's pay per click. If you know,
right.
I mean, that at the end of the day, that's what it is.
Right.
Especially with the way that Google redesigned it, where you go click, like, you're not going to compete with somebody that's had their website on actual internet for 10 plus years. You're just
Right.
not.
You're not. Right. So you're not going to end up number one, even though they all sell it to you like that. But
you can be number one for a day if you pay enough.
But
I'm not going to call out any of my old companies, but they spent $1 million to learn that lesson the hard way. To be number one, marketing.
Yeah. It's true. But you can get it so that you're in the hunt by working the SEO. And I've already proven it with one of the things that I was working on. You got to wait about 30 days for it to show up. And all of a sudden, we were not showing up at all under this keyword, a regular search term. We weren't showing up. I would even scroll through and I'm like, Maeve was telling me, she's like, I never see you on here. And then maybe a week ago, I typed in that same thing and we were number 4. And I went, oh, am I going to take those other ones? No, because they're huge companies that are dumping tons of money into it.
That's something that you have to remember when it comes to marketing, especially if you're just new coming into the market, whatever market it may be. You cannot compare yourself to people that have all that money behind them. You'll drive yourself insane. It's just the same thing with when people buy Facebook ads. Yeah, they'll let it work for the first 2 weeks, and then you just got to pay more and more, and you see less and less and less results. Same thing with Instagram. Now TikTok's a little different. You actually will see that because it's very hyper focused.
Right.
Their algorithm actually works.
It does.
For now.
Yeah, until they burn it to the ground, which will happen. Until DC takes it over.
The Chinese, they're not letting it go. They got American sweet, sweet, precious, sensitive information. They're not letting that go.
No. So yeah, the website is going great. I'm very happy with what I have right now. Is it the perfect one? No. I may have said that trying to I'm trying to develop the perfect. But I went through different marketing companies that were reviewing podcaster websites. And I looked at what they were critiquing, what they were saying, and I think I've hit most of the buttons that were the good things. And the few things that I couldn't do, it's I don't go through that service, so I can't do that. Okay? If I paid for this, I could do that, but I can't do it. And the really funny thing is, some of them that really like this one type of player, a sticky player, you can only get that if you're paying through one of these things like Wix.
Yeah, they have the mini app, and then for the full thing, yeah.
Right. And I'm like, but if you're going through that, your SEO and your SEM are screwed. Do I expect these shows to be number one? No, there's 10 million shows. Somebody's going to be number
Growing
one.
By the day.
Going to be bottom. Yeah, right. But if you can get it right, it gives you a tool that you can use. You're more likely to show up if they type in the right thing. If they type in your name, because right now, if you don't have that right and they type in your name, you still don't show up. But if you get that stuff right and they type in your name, I'm looking for Capes and Lunatics podcast, you show up. So there's a lot of things like that, but then you also got to get that design right, and that's what I'm
surprised
really working
Brian Cronin doesn't show up. I had to fire my shot, Phil.
I'm not gonna say he's stealing our ideas, but
And we're kind of in a low-key Cold War with Brian Cronin and
it's just a giant coincidence that we'll do an episode on something, then all of a sudden we'll see an article on it.
Charlie's his inside guy. #.
Oh yeah, Charlie's.
You'll never guess what we're covering this week.
Brian. I don't want to say he's licking certain parts of his anatomy, but it seems like
Whoa. Yeah, you know what? That kind of stuff does happen. Maeve just had that with Broken to Brave. Molly went to look it up.
Okay, I will throw hands. Who was it? Tell me.
Well, go type in Broken to Brave podcast, and they didn't steal the show. The logo looks the same.
You got a catfish. You got a catfish.
They stole the logo.
Fry it up, Rob.
And Maeve wrote to her right away and was like, hey, you're working with, and her show is interviewing people with mental health. So it's different than Broken to Brave, but the broken, even the font for Brave is the same. And we're like, you know what? The best part is Maeve was right away. She goes, our logo sucks. We were going to change it. So, nice job stealing a sucky logo. But we've had a lot of that where even, I think I mentioned this before, where we used to use the puppet in our live shows. And then there was a guy that was on one of our live shows, and notice his show now, he has a puppet as a regular character. And I'm like, I know where you got the idea, because you were on the show when we were using the Edward puppet. Just seeing those little things. But everybody steals from each other.
You have to make it your own.
Right. And if you make it your own, that's all good. And you know what? I've stolen plenty of things because you get an idea and you're like, hey, that's a good idea. What can we do to adapt it and change it to our own thing? So starting next week, the Lunatics and Capes podcast is going to be on the Southgate Media Group network.
All shot
Good
from
luck
below.
finding somebody crazier than me.
All
Good
shot
luck.
No, Lilith, you know me. I'll get you.
all shot from below his chin.
That's right. It's going to be
The Dutch Angle podcast.
That's right. But I'm going to get it's going to be the opposite. So instead of two like white guys and you, we're going to have I've got a black guy, I've got you, and then we've got Charlie. Because of course I got to bring Charlie too.
Somebody get Maz on the phone.
Actually, I could put together a show that would knock your socks off. A friend of mine, you would be like, "Oh shit, amazing!" But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to.
I'm telling Maeve. That's it.
Yeah, oh, I'm in trouble. Yeah, she's like, she knows that at some point the 2.0 version of our network will resurface, but it's not going to be
that day. The day that happens, you're like, hey, you're going to get a shovel in the back of your head, and I will help her. I will help her.
No, we're never going to do it that same way. It's never going to happen. And with all I'm doing with the consulting of that, I don't have time. But notice if you notice
it, you're getting a shovel in the back of your head.
Lilith, you know how you can tell? Go look at our private group. The logo changes. I just recently changed the header image because I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be a microphone off anymore because things are coming. No, they're not coming back. Stop it. Although I am. I mean,
got the Phil syndrome. I see.
Creatively gifted, folks.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You can't stop. Cannot stop. But no, it's never going to be anything like it was. I'm not going to be editing all these shows. In fact, we're not going to own any of these shows when we relaunch. I'm not going to tell you guys all my secrets. There is a 2.0. There is a 2.0 at some point, but it is not happening anytime soon. I've got to get some consulting clients.
Let me just message Maeve real quick.
Yeah. Here's the secret.
He has to be stopped.
Here's the secret. You want to know how to work with Rob? Yeah, you do most of the
Coffee?
work. Don't let Rob do the work. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, coffee. Ooh, look at the big cup. It's hard to tell.
send him
I have a big head. That's how big this
Copious
cup
amounts of special brew.
This isn't the decaf.
Today I'm even wearing my. I love this coffee. They should sponsor me. Dark Matter coffee.
Ooh.
Oh
Very.
yeah, it is literally the best coffee I've ever had. In fact, their espresso blend is called Unicorn Blood.
Oh, that company. Okay, yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, have you had Unicorn Blood?
I don't drink coffee.
Damn it, Lilith.
I only drink Red Bull. And
No, you have
Monsters.
ADHD. I thought that coffee was something that calmed that down.
I don't like the taste of coffee. And I take it back. I like Dunkin' Donuts cold coffee and only like once a year. I actually hate the taste of coffee.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
So does Maeve.
She's on medication.
Smoked a doobie.
Yeah,
That
Maeve hates
actually
it.
works.
And she'll tell me that if I've been drinking coffee all day, and then I get close to her, she'll be like, "Ew, you smell like ham." I'm like, because of the coffee. I haven't been having any ham. And then if I haven't been drinking coffee as excessively, she does not think I smell like ham. So I'm not like old man that smells like ham. It's the coffee smell.
You've reached peak old man at that point.
When you start smelling like ham and feet,
Coffee does have a distinctive aroma.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Danielle will drink it. Yeah,
yeah, it's amazing. Oh, you don't drink it either?
No, yeah.
Wow, and
Phil's
I'm on a show with you
caffeine-free
two.
kind of guy, period.
What?
I can't believe I'm on a show with you two guys. The when you think about This Week in Geek, that was soaked in coffee.
Well, honestly, coffee and geekdom kind of go
Even
hand
a
in
Lil?
hand.
A Lil was not occasional. Chris and I drank enough for the entire team.
Oh yeah, I knew you two. I didn't know. I didn't think a little
yeah,
bit.
that was.
Try the whole state of Illinois.
Okay, well maybe. Especially when we did Coffee Palooza. I remember the one time when we were traveling. We went to Portland, and of course I went, what are the best brewers here? And I had this massive list, and I hit most of them in the few days we were there.
And he didn't sleep a wink for a week.
No, it's the first time. I remember we were at the airport to go home, and there was a Stumptown coffee there.
He bathes in
And
it.
Maeve was like, oh, you're going to get a coffee before you go, like one last for the road? And I went, this is the first time ever I hit the wall. I didn't get a coffee. I did have one on the plane, but for a brief shining moment,
He had to rethink his life choices.
I hit the wall. Yeah. It was like I was on the verge of like, oh, that might have been too much caffeine in 3 days. But I had a coffee on the plane. I was much better then.
He had a coffee and then he was fine.
Yes, I had a coffee. I don't drink as much now as I used to. It used to be when I was in my master's, I would wake up and I would make a pot, which I do every day, and I would drink a pot, and then I'd move on to the second pot, and usually it was at least 2 pots a day, which is 16 cups, 32 cups a day. It has now gone down to I do 10 cups, and Molly, 10 cups, like an 8-ounce cup. That didn't make it better, did it?
No!
Why don't you just shoot it right into the vein, Rob?
I realized when I said it how
Green
ridiculous
coffee extract IV for Rob, indeed.
Well,
Lilith, he's like, I only drink 10 a day.
You see no shakes. Molly now drinks, so she'll have usually I guess it comes to like 1 or 2 cups out of that, and I don't always make another pot after that. So I've really reduced it. I've really reduced it. Yeah, but it was it was a problem. That was during the whole compartmentalization thing too. But I had to. It was fuel. I just had to keep like.
Well,
it's
also a part of like a ritual between us hands. It's a thing.
It is, isn't it?
Not a routine, a ritual.
Yes. I've talked before about when I was in school. My rituals. It involved. I had like a certain video game I had to play. It was what calmed me down, and it had to be really calm. I played Red Dead Redemption, and I would ride the train. And I would just sit there on the train. You don't do anything except go, howdy. And that was it. And I had I had Endless Ocean. I did play that occasionally, where you swim and you take pictures of fish. Anything more than that?
School. It's Tetris
anything more than that,
nothing.
my brain would go, pop, 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 pop. No, Tetris was too much.
Tetris is very calming for me. Even when the music starts I just get in the zone.
Yeah. I couldn't during that. And I also, in my bachelor's, I had to eat these stupid corn chips from Costco. So every week we're getting these big bags of corn chips, and I was just like draining it. So that and intense amounts of coffee, that was my ritual. It got me through it. It is funny though, the day I finished my last final for my bachelor's, I kind of took the bag of chips and I put the clip on it, and I never really ate those again. It was weird.
That compartment is done.
It was
it from the train. It's gone.
When I went into the Masters, I thought, oh God, what's it going to be? I mean, what if it's something like I've got to eat, donuts? Like, what is it? I didn't know. I didn't have any food once during my Masters, which was awesome. The coffee had already cooled out a little bit, and there wasn't a food one, and I had to play Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I played the shit out of Skyrim.
As you should, as anybody should. It's a perfect game.
And
next to Elder Scrolls. Yeah.
I never finished it. I did the DLC stuff, which the DLC was amazing on that game. I never finished it because
now, did you mod Skyrim?
No. I know, but yeah, I've got a stack of shame. I want to play what they've sent and go through it. Like I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy right now. It's really fun. It's a little on the rails for me, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's a well done game. I don't get to play that much, so I like story driven. I don't need to do all the modding. If I'm in the mood, I might do a shooter. But the last time I went to do a shooter, I did a Call of Duty, and it was like
I can't play with these kids. I'm over
no,
Call of Duty, Battlefield. It's all the slurs. It's like, where's your mom? Where's your mom?
Oh yeah, we played one night. I was with my nephew, and we went on one night to play Call of Duty, and we ended up in a room, right? And some guy got on there, and he starts swearing and yelling at us, and we're like, wow. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna deal with getting yelled at like this. And then I hear him yell at his kid. There's a little kid in the room, and I finally went, hey, dude, not to tell you how to parent, but what you're saying is upsetting me, and I'm at that point, I'm in my 40s. You got a little kid in that room. I really wish you'd cool it out. F you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, holy cow. Your adrenaline's pumping from this game. You need to settle the farts down, dude. Yeah, that was kind of the end of me doing those kind of things. The other one was so when Halo 2 came out, this is how old we're talking. No, Halo 3.
Oh, okay. That makes it a little better.
Halo 3 comes out, and I've got the 360. I got the Red Ring of Death from it twice, okay? That game in particular. But they did an early release on it, so I played the game.
That was your first mistake.
Well, no, it was great. I leveled up everything really fast. I was having fun with this pre-release, right? Then I went and I did the online, and I was playing it online with other people. Then I went on day and date. I start the game up, go into the online thing, and it's like day and date. I'm already so far behind because all these twerps are like killing this game, swearing at you and like just sniping you like crazy. And I'm like, this is no fun. This is not fun.
And that's why I play The Sims and Animal Crossing.
I understand. Lilith, do you know Teresa from our network?
Samson?
Yeah,
yes.
Salmons.
There we go, yeah.
Do you connect with her?
Every now and then. Did she play The Sims? Because I need more Sims people.
No, Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay.
She is deep in Animal Crossing.
I'm just a noob.
Oh, you should totally connect. You would love Teresa. And Teresa
I literally, when the Switch finally got a OLED screen, that's when I decided to buy it. So
we won't buy it because we know it would become an obsession in this house. Not with me. There are two other people here. Sims became a problem. So we had to cool that. Although we do have great stories of her drowning clowns in the pool and stuff. She was actually I was down in our store. We lived above our store at one point, and she was up there playing Sims one day. And I get this call. She's in tears. I thought somebody died. Yeah, her Sims character.
Sim died, yeah.
She accidentally killed her Sim by setting it on fire. Got it too close to the fireplace and whoosh, and it died. And she's like, oh my God, my Sim. And then for a while afterwards, we'd be sitting there like I'm watching TV. She's playing Sims because it's like an addiction. And she would like all of a sudden go like, ah! Because the ghost of her Sim kept popping up. She was like, oh my God, the one I killed just popped up again and is scaring me. I'm like, what is this game? What are you doing? I played it for a while. There's only like, I don't care about decorating things. And you know,
oh, you can get lost for hours just
I
building
could care less
house.
about that. It's like, I remember my nephew wanted to play Tiger Woods golf on the 360. Okay. Was like addicted to it. Golf on video can be kind of fun. Golf in real life is stupid. I mean, for me.
Top Golf would like to have a word with you, first of all.
You know what? I might have fun with that. I don't know. I just don't. To me, it's not what I'm into. I've said that before about sports and that. I don't care. If you're into it, great. I think it's kind of not my thing.
Oh, my God. So, that episode of South Park was on last night where they're playing the Tiger Woods game, but it's just him fighting the wife the whole time.
That's awesome.
Now that's how you make a golf game.
I might play that.
Like a press conference. Yeah.
Is there a button that says Baba Booey? You just keep hitting that. It yells out Baba Booey and it interrupts the game. So we go to play Tiger Woods. He's talking about. Oh yeah, we got to play. I'm like, okay. We sit down, and it's a damn 45 minutes of them making their character look like they want it to look, changing the hair, the skin color, and I'm like, can I hit random and we can play the damn game? I hit random on everything. I don't care what my character looks like.
Listen, Cyberpunk 2077 may not work the best, but god damn it if that's not the best character creation you've ever seen.
Okay, but I don't like the character creation thing. Can you just play the game? Is it a fun
game?
No,
it's not playable.
Oh, they're not playing that.
But she looks good.
I considered getting it because it looked really good, but if it's just all about character creation,
I just want to have decorating character. That's all.
Oh,
don't
all right.
Me.
There's a drop for you.
Oh, shout out to his lady friend too. They're just the most. She's an artist. They're just so cute.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, they're awesome.
I'm so happy for him. But Winona's somewhere punching the air, sliding down walls right now. You could have had that, Winona, but you didn't. You didn't. You blew him off.
No. Now she's in the upside down.
We won't go there. So that's Stranger. We'll talk about Stranger Things spinoff next week. Put a pin in that, Phil.
Next week on this show.
Next month.
Next month. We can't take weekly doses of Rob Southgate.
Next episode. You know what I mean.
That's like coffee, man. That's like coffee, man. We can't do Rob Southgate every week.
I like this format. I like the idea of asking questions and me giving insane answers that are not insane to me, but I'm sure the listeners would be like, he has all of this wrong. I like that.
That's at Rob Southgate.
No, it's at R Southgate on Twitter.
That's right.
That's right.
You can at me there.
And you could follow the third best Southgate on Facebook and Twitter. So.
Oh, plugs from Phil. And
now
as long as
you're
we're
a
doing
real
plugs,
show.
as long as we're doing plugs, check out, I now have SouthgateSmallBusiness.com and the podcastprops.com. It's funny, the podcast stuff I get a lot of questions about, but everybody that's hiring me is for Southgate Small Business.
Oh,
And,
how did your real quick? How did your seminar go?
It went great. The webinar that I was doing. Or wait, the webinar or the live
webinar.
talk I did? Okay.
The webinar.
First, let me tell you, the live talk was interesting because we get there and I broke it immediately. I'm like, I'm not using a PowerPoint. I'm just going to go up and wing it about this. It was about starting a podcast for businesses. And it turned out there were 6 people there, small group. And the first person that asked me a question, they were all varying degrees of either they podcasted or they had a business and they were interested. And I broke it. I made it into a session. I just was like, let's just talk. So I asked questions and answered questions the whole time. It was actually pretty incredible. And I got some client action off of it, people that wanted to do some free sessions, and hopefully that's going to lead into some paying sessions. But that is something that I do offer. So if you're somebody who's got a business, wants to know about marketing, whether it's social media, digital marketing, I'm helping somebody actually put out a self-published book, which has become pretty great. And I help them with their Kickstarter. Like, I do all these different things.
Are you allowed to say what genre? Because depending, that's a tough go.
The book?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'll tell you the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter, it's a therapy book about Lord of the Rings. So he's a licensed therapist who during COVID was watching Lord of the Rings and said he was just noticing all these things that could tie back to mental health. So he wrote a journal that ties back in. And
prescribe me second breakfast. That's all I need to know. I just need a prescription for second breakfast.
I'm on 4th C's. So yeah, it's really fantastic, and I've been helping him with that. It's really great. So that part of my business is really great. It's called Southgate Small Business. So if you have something that is marketing related, content related, something that you want to put out there, it's great. And then Podcast Profs, that's about educating people that typically it's supposed to be for people that are already established podcasters that are like trying to like figure out their social media, figure out their game. How do I get engagement? How do I do a live event? That's what I was helping somebody with today. All the advice they got on equipment for live events was wrong.
Of course.
Wrong. And I said that to them when they were writing to me, and they gave me a couple of things, and I said, everything you just said is wacky. And it was what they were told. And I said, we need a free session and I'll tell you how to do it. And she was like, oh, awesome. And then she wrote me a bunch more that I haven't read yet because I was talking to you guys. So I encourage you, if you have questions about it, sign up for the free session. You can go to Southgate Small Business or the Podcast Profs and just hit free session. I don't do a big close on you or anything. You get 30 minutes where we really dig into it. It actually is 45 minutes because we take about 15 minutes kind of getting to know each other. And then 30 minutes of like, you can do AMA. We can do it on a specific topic. It's really awesome. Now, the webinar. The webinar, I did not get a lot of people for. So it almost was that same thing. I had a PowerPoint all set up that I did go through, but I really made it personal. So this person wanted to launch a podcast. It was about how to launch a podcast the right way, cut to the chase. And I just poured it out. I poured it out because when we started podcasting, the amount of misinformation we were given was nuts.
And still, that is still out there as the norm.
It is. And there's so many lies.
Because they don't want you to succeed because then they can't succeed.
Right. And I would rather everybody succeed because does it hurt me? No. When we had our store, we had this retail children's store and we were right in the pocket with all these other retail stores that were freaking out when we moved in, right? We were stealing their business. And I was talking to somebody about it. We were getting interviewed and they said, why did you move in here? And I said, well, we didn't know they were there. So I guess we didn't do our research very well, but I still would have moved in here. And they said, wow, you're right in the middle of these, so much competition. And I said, I wish this whole block was children's stores. I wish right next door I had one on either side because, number one, it would make a shopping district that people know is about children's stuff. Number two, I'm me. What we do is unique. If they want to steal what we're doing, it's going to look like a copy anyway. If I don't have what they need, I can send them to the guy next door that does. Looks good for me, Looks good for
I
them.
love the flea market method. I love it.
And it happened in our network. Remember when the Flash started up? Speaking of the Flash, we had 3 different shows that came to us, 3 different podcasters that said, I want to do a Flash podcast. Hold on. 1, 2,
I think it was
3, 4. Yeah, there were 4. There were actually more than that, but there were 4 that actually launched. And I was called crazy. I was called crazy by people in our network. I was also called crazy by...
Everybody's different. What floats one person's boat sinks the other.
I remember I got messages from other network owners that I know that were like, what are you doing? Why are you doing 4 Flash shows?
Mind your business.
Well, I said, same thing, though. I didn't say mind your business. I should have. But I said, you know what? That's my problem. Everybody here has a unique voice. If I have 4 shows, here's the deal. Every show is completely different. If it's not, well, you're not part of our network because you're just copying anyway. So if you're doing something unique, you've got your own voice. You and Kelly did a Flash show, okay? Phil and Zach, his BFF, did a Flash show. We had these guys from Wisconsin, did a Flash show. They were all completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Not even close to the same thing. So what happens if I'm listening to your show, Lilith, and I'm digging on the Flash? I'm a fan of the Flash TV show. That's why I'm listening to your show. I don't just randomly pick your show. And I'm digging on it. And then I see in your feed, oh, Phil's show showed up. Here's another one. Or you mention, oh, yeah, this other one is part of our network. I'm going to go listen to that. If it's good, I'm going to subscribe. If it's not good, they're not going to get my subscription anyway. That's how it works. I remember I was listening to the Lost podcast with Jay and Jack.
That's what drives podcasting. Little does anybody know.
Yep.
Like, how many people are subscribed to more than 3 murder podcasts? I'm not calling anyone out, but I know the statistics.
It's true. You find an episode, you find a show about Jeffrey Epstein, and you're like, wow, this is fascinating. I got to listen to more. What do? You find other podcasts about it. If they're good, you might have 2 or 3 in your queue. If they're crap, they go away after 3 minutes. It's what happens. So, yeah, competition, I love it. I don't care about it. Let's go for it. With what I do with the consulting, there are a lot of consultants out there doing this stuff. They're not doing what I do. So the webinar, we got into some of that stuff, and it was fabulous. And the response back has been great, which is really good. I'm going to do another one, but I might not do webinars for a bit. I'm doing one more this week about social media, and it's about like fixing your social media. You can't see it, but behind me on that whiteboard, I'm covering it up again, are some secret sauce things that we're going to talk about. It's there's a lot of things there. Lilith, I don't know if you saw it, Phil, but back when we started, I was asking everybody under the sun about social media, and
nobody actually really knew.
They didn't know, or they gave me bad advice. And
I like to think they didn't know. I don't think anybody was purposely giving.
No, there was some bad advice. There was some.
I'll throw hands. Just send me the person. I'll throw hands.
Same people that gave me bad advice about podcasting, where I'm like, you clearly gave some bad advice here. But a lot of people just didn't know, or they don't understand that it's from their perspective. They think it's a blanket. This is how it works. So when I teach it, it's not about, here's a blanket, this is going to work for everybody. It's about, here's a way that you can do this to get control of things. Here's how you can optimize to get control. Here's a way that you can create a strategy or understand what that is. I'm working with somebody right now. I laid out a really good one that, like, here it is. Here's the magic bullet to build engagement, to do all these things. If it's going to work, this is a way that it will work, right? And they came back and said, I can't do all those things. Okay. So we pared it down. We got it down to something really basic. Are they going to have 10 million followers? No. Are they going to be happy with what they had? Yeah, they're really happy with what they're doing right now. Really happy. We went from, we had A through Z in the bucket. Now we have A through, I don't know, D. And they're happy with it, but they now understand how it works. And that's the key. So I'm doing a webinar. I'm going to pour it out there too. If they really want to do it, then you hire me as a consultant, and
now, are you keeping those in the archive for people to buy later on, or what are you doing?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's why I said I don't think I'm going to do webinars for a bit. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to create a couple of programs that people can buy.
Yeah.
And like I said, any of these things, when you take these things, webinars for people, they always pitch their consulting services. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm not going to spend, I just watched one where they spent 20 minutes of it pitching their thing. I'm like, no, it's just a little thing at the end. Like, hey, if you want to go deeper, if you want the personal touch, because that's really why you hire a coach or a consultant. You want somebody to walk you through it. Because you can, it's that old Superman thing. You know, some people can look at the back of a gum wrapper and understand the universe. Other people can have volumes and still not understand. It's, you know, that's why you need a coach or you need a consultant. I do both. Consultants tell you what to do. Coaches have you tell them.
Execute it.
Well, and they also have you tell them how it works. I figure a lot of people don't know. So if they just hire me as a coach and I'm saying like, well, how do you think you would do that? They're not going to know. If I can say, here's some basics, here's how you do it. What steps do you want to take? What's blocking you? Then I'm moving coaching and consulting together. And my results have been fantastic. You set a goal, we work it out together, and I do the hard work. You know, that's why this book is getting launched. He sat on it for a long time, and he's like, I can't believe it. We're going to launch this book in time for Dragon Con. It's going to be out. Oh yeah,
that's right around the corner.
Come on, Lilith. You know me. I don't screw around. So I'm going to find Kickstarter. I'm going to give this plug.
I told you, Phil. He and we can do 3 hours of just business.
I know.
Easy. Not even think about it.
Oh, yeah.
He thought he was signing off. No, sir.
No. It's the Midwest goodbye. Okay. Go to Kickstarter. Look up Epic Mental Health Lord of the Rings Journal. It's got a prototype cover. Oh, my God. We got a great artist doing the artwork for it. They're in process right now. So now it's just prototype stuff. I should change it to Frodotype cover. Damn it. I missed a good one. But it did launch. It's got 21 days to go, and they're a third of the way through. It's a really fantastic project, and I recommend in his updates. Eric just put. I did an interview with him for Go Fund This, and it's a great interview. Not because of me, but because of what I got him to talk about. But he does a guided meditation out of the book or around the book that. The response, people are like, oh my God, you need to do this. Yeah, well, we've got a stretch goal where that's going to happen. So there you go. There it is. It says interview live reading of Lord of the Rings Journal. If you click on that, it's got a live video you can watch on YouTube. So there you go. I highly encourage people. And if you don't want to spend the bucks on it, which, come on, $10 helps the guy out considerably. It's a great project. It's going to do a lot of good for a lot of people. But on top of that, share it. Because the more you share this stuff,
or your avocado toast.
No, get them because you've got the extra $10. But share it. Share it with your friends because you don't know who out there loves Lord of the Rings, needs a little mental health boost, is going to get a lot out of this.
Anybody who likes Lord of the Rings might probably that's a circle.
Yep. It like is a circle.
No, seriously, because like a lot of people talk about how Lord of the Rings could be a parable for like mental. Everybody kind of has a tick in that book.
They do. Well, he talks about that in this journal. It's really, really fantastic. So there, I plugged him. I got my websites out. I'm sure there'll be stuff in the show notes because I think I wrote show notes that have all this stuff. But I will I'll add that Kickstarter to it. So the show notes are there. And this was great, you guys. I enjoyed this format. Did you guys like it this way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's different. Hopefully it's not too off the rails. I know people like linear. I don't. I think
it's on the Rob Southgate brand.
It is. It's on brand.
Work in progress with Rob Southgate.
Yeah. Oh, Lilith, if you like the business stuff, last thing, I am working on the relaunch of New Media Lab, and yeah, it's really cool. I finally have it right. That one took 4 seasons. I kept saying on the show, I hated the show. Talk about wanting to break it immediately. I hated it from day one. And I was like, there's things I like about it.
To be fair, though, we fixed the Twitter problem. They didn't even give us credit. They literally did what we said.
Did they?
Yeah, they took, like, the names don't count as characters. Like, all that stuff that we said, they actually do on Twitter now. So
fantastic. Well,
that was like 10 years ago. They finally instituted.
There's a quote. I fixed Twitter, Rob Southgate.
No, I think Lilith fixed it, or did I?
Run with it.
We fixed it together. Lilith, I will have you back on once I get that actually working. I'm going to have you back on.
When you're ready to talk about TikTok, call.
Oh, I will be. In fact, I've got somebody who went viral on TikTok that I'm friends with that's going to come on to talk about TikTok too. So we could do a TikTok too. We could do a little this is going to sound bad, a little freeway about TikTok. And then I've got another one that ties to it directly that is part of I don't know if it's going to be Podcast Profs, if it's going to be what it is, but you're going to love it. It's another aspect of it that gets more into the digital universe of marketing. I'm so excited. I just haven't launched them yet, but I have been working on them.
Are you going to talk about how that ties into Web 3.0, or like what are we doing with that one?
all of the above.
Okay, sweet.
That one is going to be more businessy and more nuts and bolts. New Media Lab is going to be more podcasters, but instead of like, tell me your story. I mean, I'm going to have them tell me their story about podcasting because I find that stuff fascinating. But we're going to get into their marketing practices and what works, what doesn't. What are your thoughts on having a website, on Web 3.0, on whatever it is? What your thoughts on TikTok? I mean, I think how fascinating if you get a podcaster that's doing well with TikTok to have them come on and actually talk about it, and I'll get honesty out of them.
I think that's no podcaster does well with TikTok.
They don't. It's just like I was saying with the website.
I will save that for when you have me on. But yeah, like I said, it's very fascinating.
They don't have it right. I have some thoughts on how I'm going to do some TikTok stuff, and it's not going to involve me dancing. It's not going to involve me like showing hairy cleavage, because that seems to work. That seems to work on
people. People would claim you're ripping off Charlie Esser if you did that.
Yeah, I'm going to go throw up now. It's going to be. I've got some ideas, but that's why I've got a TikTok, but I haven't launched anything yet. I think there's a way to utilize it for podcasters.
Listen, I'm gonna give you this one tip for free.
Yeah.
Just start commenting and liking. You don't have to put any content out there. Just have your base, make some friends, and then when you're ready to,
they see it. Yeah, 100%.
Listen, I only have 520 friends, but like I actually interact with those people every single day on TikTok, and I don't have any content. So
yep, I'm
that's my life pro tip for TikTok.
You're ready for TikTok. You are made for TikTok, Lilith.
I'm waiting until I get to 669.
Oh,
or 666. I haven't really decided.
Speaking of the brand,
very true. Yeah, welcome to 666 Lilith Hellfire. The real Hellfire Club.
Exactly. Suck it, Marvel.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm done. That was longer than I expected.
That's what she said.
I wish. All right. All right. Well, Phil, do you want to take us out, or do you want me to?
I'll
take us out of here. Play us out, Charlie.
I mean, it'd be nice if you talked for once, Phil.
I know. I just leave all that dead air. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, kids. So yeah, if you have questions, you know where to find Rob Southgate.
Rob doesn't have answers.
He just told you for half an hour where to find them. It'll be in the show notes, or you can even contact us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com for your. Ask him anything. He will answer any question.
Pretty much.
No question too risque.
No, they might get a little too risque.
Any subject, yeah.
But go ahead and shoot your shot, and we'll see what I do. I am not afraid.
Do you want to be an internet superstar like Charlie Esser? Rob Southgate's the man to make that happen.
I've done it. If I could do it for Charlie, I could do it for anybody.
If he can do it for that convict Charlie Esser, he can do it for you.
Free Charlie.
Free Charlie Esser. T-shirts coming soon.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Join the Facebook page. I always post things on there. And in fact, I'm going to be doing more video updates on there too. Do it.